away. So grateful. All right, loves, we are live. We are absolutely live on all platforms. Welcome in. Welcome into All Things Mastery. This is our All Things Mastery Monday Rising Live. Y'all know what we do here. We talk all things mastery, all things and getting you into position so you can live the life that you not only love but deserve. And today is no different. How to accelerate your goals. How to accelerate your goals. And I'm not talking about in a speedy way because a lot of us want fast, a lot of us want quick, and that's not the wisest way to go. However, it also doesn't mean that you have to wait forever to bring your manifestations into fruition. I shade blissful rise, because oh, come on in, come on in. So, welcome to All Things Mastery Live. I am your host, educator, and mentor, Venus Scott, and I've been teaching for 15 plus years. So welcome in on my YT family. Welcome in on my Twitch Switch family. I don't want to get banned. Welcome in my FB family. Welcome, 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 and especially my TikTok family. So I teach you how to level up. I teach you how to accelerate your goals based on proven principles by educating you on meta principles. Hence, baby, listen, if you ever wanted the formula, the exact formula to accelerate your goals, to accelerate your healing, this is the place where you want to be right now, because I'm going to be giving you the formula. Okay? And how many of you know that there is no getting to your destination without an address? There's no getting anywhere with a direct path. So if that sounds like it's something that you want to learn, put an ashe in the comments, right? And so those of you who don't know what ashe means, ashe is the infinite sealer. It is the infinite. It is a part of the oneness. So whenever you say ashe, it seals it. It affirms it. That's it. That's all. Like most of these young people say, period. I see the ashes in a comment, right? And so is also, some people also say amen. However, that is a reverse and a fictitious repurposing of amen ra. Still the sealing of our ancient practices and principles that we spoke of our ancestors. However, I like to say ashe, okay, because remember when we spoke about words and we speak about frequency, okay, we want to use the frequencies that the universe understand, and ashe has no mixing, no mingling of the color of the sound. So we use that. Dr. Sunny, how are you, my love? So how do I teach you self-mastery? How do I teach you the proven practices to accelerate your goals the right way? Right? How do I do that? I do that by sharing with you the proven principles and formulas that is going to help you achieve your goals more quickly, more efficiently, and most importantly, more effectively without complications. Now, of course, there are variables. This is all predicated upon you actually doing the work. Yolanda, how are you, my love? This is predicated upon you actually doing the work. So if you're not pardon me, if you're not a beautiful soul that is willing to at least choose yourself, if you're not a person that is willing to get active, then nothing you ever try will work. However, I want you also to understand, just because you're not making choices to elevate, to accelerate, and to ascend doesn't necessarily mean that you're not making the opposite choice of decelerating, descending. Okay? Because even though I know some of us think that, hey, whether I make the choice or not, it doesn't matter. A choice is a choice, whether you understand you're making it or not, whether you're consciously aware that you're making it or not. So I teach these to beings who is ready to accelerate in their entrepreneurship, ready to scale their businesses or even start a business. ready to get into alignment with money, ready to relearn and learn the accurate, the proven systems, the proven metaphysical laws, which we're going to get into. Because listen, when I first discovered what meta even means, what universal even means, when I tell you this information has accelerated my life forward and propelled me so far beyond what I can imagine. If it can work for me, it can work for you. So I'm speaking to those who want to and are willing to embody the practices and principles of self, life, soul, spirit mastery. I'm speaking to ones who don't want to keep healing backwards. I'm speaking to the ones who don't want to keep being re-traumatized because they are being told that you have to continually go down those roads to those dark, scary, traumatic moments of your childhood. I'm telling you that there is an indisputable, scientifically, metaphysically proven way for you to even accelerate those dark traumas without hurting yourself, without re-traumatizing yourself. I'm speaking to those women and men alike who want to gain more confidence, who want to be more assured of themselves and their purpose, right? Because when you're not sure and when you're not confident in your purpose, guess what? It's losing its essence. So that leads to you being unmotivated, you being uninspired. So I do this by helping you understand that these principles and laws that we're gonna go through right now, understand that there are multiple universal laws and principles and meta laws. We're going to be covering 8, right? Why is this important? Because these principles, they govern your behavior. They have everything to do with how you are mentally reprogramming. They have everything to do with quantum physics. They have everything to do with the way your heart is functioning, with the way your nervous system is functioning, with the way your mind and your brain is functioning, the way that you are receiving or repelling the very same with which you want. And so here we go in between the core interplays between who you are and who you want to be. And you cannot do that if you don't have accurate information. Okay, so participate. Make sure you engage, right? Because one of the laws we're going to be going through is I think one of the ones that's on the list is the law of exchange. Okay, you get what you give. It really is as simple as that. So participate, like, share, get your daily heart meets, and also claim your points. Right, join in the collective. Okay, because the more of us that is raising our frequency, our vibration, our awareness, the more of us that are tapping into higher states of consciousness via one of the ways that we're doing right now is exchanging energies. We are amplifying positive high frequency energies. And so whenever you have an opportunity to participate in that, do it quickly. Do not let your cognitive dissonance trick you out of what you are supposed to receive in this moment, because you're here not by happenstance. You're here not by luck. You're here not by coincidence. You are always here by divine assignment. You are always here by the summoning of your higher self. Okay? And it's okay. A lot of times our reminders need reminders, right? No tree stands alone in the forest. You cannot expect to feed something one time and expect the result to be that it continues to grow. It's not how it works. You have to continually feed that which you want to grow and continually starve that which you want to lose its life force, especially when it isn't serving you. So in cases like this, where you get to participate in this high frequency energy, when you get to participate and exchange in beauties and exchange in higher states of consciousness, exchange in divine information, right? Many of you who know me know that the core essence of who I am, I understand and know my natal chart. One of my divine purposes is to transmute information from the cosmic realm into this realm. I am the intermedium between the higher self and the lower self, which is why it's so important that I not only uphold my standards, I, with love, compassion, and with an unapologetic state, that I'm not going to apologize for telling you what you need to know instead of what you want to know. Because sometimes all we want to know is the lies that we continually tell ourselves so we can be comfortable in being uncomfortable. Okay, but how many of you know that leads to self destruction? You're heading for self destruction. You're headed for self destruction. Now, that's just not a cliche. Even though I'm putting my little razzle dazzle on it the way I do, it is an absolute truth. Because as living organisms, as living cells, as living conscious beings, if you are not ascending, you are descending. Okay. So we're going to get into all of these principles in which you should know. But before we do that, please allow me 1 second to protect myself and my intellectual property. All content within this program, including but not limited to lessons, teachings, exercises, frameworks, blueprints, audio, visuals, materials, properties, right? The propriety, the method, the courses, titles, digital downloads, presentation slides, the intellectual property of me, Venus Scott. Okay? And it is protected under the United States Copyright Law, Title 117, international copyright treaties, and applicable intellectual property laws. Thank you so very much for allowing me that time. Again, welcome to All Things Mastery. Okay, I'm excited to have you here. One of the things that I love doing, please, Yoda, how are you, my love? One of the gratifying things of connecting, coming here on live and teaching is building, forging healthy relationships. And we do that by what? I give you honesty, you give me honesty. I give you transparency, you give me transparency. I operate with integrity, I expect, I command, I authorize, okay? You to do the very same thing. It's called reciprocation, right? Where we both win. We do that by respecting one another and having compassion, authentic compassion for one another, right? So my core mastery teachings for those of you who are new with me, because especially that I'm growing my platform over on which I don't want to say it and get banned or blocked. Okay, so somebody put in the comments FYP for me, so we can get this thing going, because I'm sure, I don't like tiptoeing around the truth or tiptoeing around what we're doing, which is why we are expanding our reach, which is why we are now on multiple platforms, right? So the core of my teachings, for those of you beautiful souls who are new to me, stems from a blend of metaphysics, energetics, meta laws, quantum physics, universal laws, principles, including how to manifest properly, how to attract, how to raise your frequency, especially when it comes to getting into alignment with what you love, like, want, desire, whatever it is. You deserve it, but first you have to know you deserve it. I also pull from nervous system rewiring, which I teach a lot of these methods inside All Things Mastery, Infinity Community. And most importantly, we apply what we learn, so we can not only talk about it, not only share it, but embody it. Because when you embody it, it automatically puts you in alignment. Abstract my infinite gratitude for putting the FYP. When you embody these principles, these meta laws that govern us all, you don't have to try real hard to get into alignment to attract what you want. This is the essence and the profoundness and the phenomena of being in alignment. So all of these proven core areas that I teach from has allowed me to help countless of men, mainly women, but men and women, right, to accelerate their goals, which you're going to be learning about this evening, right? So it isn't mysticism. It's facts, it's physics, it's spirituality, it's divine essence. So if that sounds like something you want to do, put a yes, yes, yes in the comments, right? Awareness and intentional alignment are the primordial keys to what you desire. I'm going to say that again so you can understand. Ashe. Awareness, having awareness, right, in conjunction with intentional alignment means everything that you are doing, well, at least 80% of your actions and behaviors are in alignment with who you want to be and what you want to attract. So awareness and your intentional alignment are the primordial keys to experiencing whatever it is that you wish to experience, and experience it while you're on this earth, not when you return home. It is also the results of you relearning, right? All of what you need to know now. I'm not going to say what you were supposed to know, because I also know that a lot of us went through the things that we went through, all to get you in position for the now, all to get you in position for what you're about to receive, all to get you into alignment, the readiness, so you can receive, because you cannot receive with a closed heart. So we're not going to focus on what we wasn't taught. We're not going to focus on all the drama. We're not going to focus on the trauma. We're not going to focus on the woulda, shoulda, couldas. We're not going to focus on what happened yesterday, what happened 10 years ago. Because the stories you continually repeat are the stories you continually live, which is why you're not experiencing your new reality, which is why you're not in alignment with a lot of people, places, and things that you want to be in alignment with. So we're not focused on what could have happened, what would have happened if. We're not focused on that. We're focusing on the now. And I say this all the time, the now is where you need to be present, because it is where you receive your presents, gifts. Right? So when you start to understand this, you start to move with that alignment, right? So here we like to give honor. We like to have gratitude. So infinite gratitude to the infinite source of life and all beings created from it. Infinite gratitude for nature for nurturing us and providing for us. Infinite gratitude to our ancestors who continually guide us, probe us, protect us, provide for us, right? Especially from unseen forces, because there's a lot of you. And I mean, there are a lot of us who do not truly understand what our ancestors are doing on our behalf to protect us, because so many of us would rather be ignorant than to learn what's the most important things about you, especially when we are of a mature age. Ashe, ignorance also, willful ignorance also leads to self-destruction. Now, of course, there are opposite sides. So for every one thing, there is an opposite degrees of it. So we like to give honor to our ancestors and the infinite source of creation for continually to give us life, especially if you are here, especially if you are watching me, hearing me, seeing me, especially if you have whatever you have, whatever members you have. If you are breathing, give gratitude. Ashe. So this is what we do over here. We make sure we give honor, as well as getting into the core teachings that is going to accelerate your goals. And how many of you know you cannot do that with inaccurate information? Right? So across all the expert disciplines of psychology, personal development, finances, being behavior, there still remains these top 5 struggles that most of us are still having, and we don't need to have them. The truth is, most of us are choosing to continually have these pain points. Peace says, how are you, Tanya? Right? And those 5 things are, there's a lot of us who are still experiencing financial insecurity, right? Worrying, stressing ourselves out, right? Causing our bodies to be susceptible to weaknesses and diseases because we're not financially secure, because we don't understand, or we have forgotten our purposes and our fulfillment, what it truly means to be fulfilled, full, right? We're still struggling with emotional and mental peace. We're still struggling with love connection. We're still struggling with a sense of belonging to, not just to someone, but to something greater than ourselves, right? There's so many of us who are seeking financial security. And by all right, you should. However, understand that you don't have to hustle hard. Infinite gratitude. Hi, Mo. How are you, my love? Peace, goddess. You don't have to hustle harder. You don't have to hustle backwards. You don't have to get 4, 5, 6 jobs. You don't have to rob Peter to pay Paul. You don't have to keep begging God, whatever you call is God concept. You don't have to continually stress your body out, stress your nervous system out. You don't have to do all of these things. Now, many of us know the root causes of all of these struggles. Our struggle with love connections, our struggle with financial security, our struggle with having a sense of peace of mind. We know the root causes of these. Well, many of us, we know the root causes that we were programmed with scarcity mindset. We were programmed with fear mindset. We were programmed with lack mindset because that's what we grew up into. However, can somebody say but now in a comment section? Ashe, but now. Ashe, but now. Ashe, now there is no rhyme, reason, justification, or excuse. Okay? The real undesirable question is how bad do you want it? Because there ain't nothing that you're unable to do. You're just unwilling to do because sacred information is not hidden anymore. It is still sacred, but it is not hidden. Divine facts, ancient wisdom that our sacred societies embodied and held and kept sacred for a reason isn't hidden anymore. It is still sacred, it is still proven, it is still very relevant. However, it isn't hidden anymore. So it don't matter how many times you close your eyes. It don't matter how many times you close your ears. It don't matter how many times you shut your mouth. It don't matter how many times you turn a blind eye. The truth is the truth, and it is made available. It is here. Not only is it here, it has always been here within you. Ashe Yolanda, Ashe Big Chef, but now, so there is no rhyme, reasons, or justifications why we're still struggling, right? And so, I'm excited about what I'm about to teach. I'm excited about what I'm about to teach because it is going to show you some things about yourself. First and foremost, I need you to understand that, baby, if I was suffering from severe mommy and daddy issues like many of us, if I got over my abandonment wounds, my loneliness, my traumas, relationship separations, grief, losing people, if I am still at my highest peak, even when I'm not, Ashe, I hope some of y'all caught that. If I can remain at my highest peak, even when I'm not, because of these embodiment self-mastery principles and practices, so can you. Because you will experience life and life differently on every level. However, it's an honor to experience those. So I am definitely qualified to teach you, right? Not only that, it is one of my divine purposes to do so, right? So I don't want you to get misunderstand me because a lot of you say, well, who are you qualified to? Maybe not that I would respond to that, not that I need your validation. I just do that because I know I have a lot of new beings, beautiful souls that is being introduced to me. Okay, so let's bring up these laws. Let's get into these principles. Let's get into it. Okay. Meta laws and principles. How many of you put a one in the comment section if you heard of meta laws? Put a one in the comment section if you put a two in the comment section if you haven't. Now, keep in mind that this is a safe place. This is how we learn. You don't learn by keeping silent. You learn by opening up your chakra. Mo, infinite gratitude for being transparent. This is how we grow. Right? Closed mouths don't get fed. That still holds true on a metaphysical level. This is so I can get a nice gauge on who I am talking to. Okay? So, meta laws and universal principles are almost one and the same. These laws are always in effect. They never turn off, just like your consciousness never turn off, just like you never turn off. But you can align them with mastery. And in fact, in order for you to understand and to embody mastery, you also need to understand these meta laws because they are what's governing us all. Why is this so important? Because they are the primary reason that for all of your whys. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Why am I not doing this? Or why am I not doing this? Yes, they do, abstract mind, right? So it is the understanding that they are important because they are impacting your choices. A lot of you do not really understand how addicted you have become to struggle, how addicted you have become to survival mode, how addicted you have become to self sabotage and all of the beautiful opportunities that are made available to you, that come and are presented to you, and you will ignorantly turn them away because you're not understanding these laws. So what, they didn't teach you what they were supposed that, so what, they didn't teach you this in the past. Now you're learning. I need you to understand that these laws are imperative for your life. They are that serious. They are imperative for your life. Put a one in the comment section if you love yourself, if you want to live. Put a one in a comment section if you want to live. Somebody put a one for me. So put a number 11. I want to live. I have more to do. You have more to do. You have more to experience. Whether it is on one side or the other, you need infinite gratitude, Mo. Thank you so much for putting my one up there. We need to live. There are so many gifts, so many talents, so many people that you need to touch. There's so many developments, there's so many beautiful experiences that you could have. However, the prerequisites are also important. You cannot fix what you do not understand is broken. You cannot correct what you do not understand. You cannot go from point A to point B without a destination. You cannot do it. Why do you think maps was used in the first place? Why do you think astrology and astronomy exist? Not just for nothing. Placement matters. Your understanding matters. And until you get it, your life will continually decelerate. Ashe, so when I tell you these universal laws that I'm about to share with you are important not only for you, but for the loved ones who we say we love. These laws are influencing everything you attract, everything and everyone, every experience. These laws are governing those things. They are predicting those things. Well, how many of you know that you can, when I say that you are infinite consciousness, one of the reasons why I say that you are a co-creator is because, yes, you create all of what you experience. However, these universal laws are the primordial forces that dictate what you're creating and where you're creating from, right? So the universe, the meta laws is not punishing you. When you experience things, the hurt, the pain, there are variable, there are a lot of variables for one. However, I want you to stick with me because there's so much information that I have to share, but I have to stay focused. This is why my notes help me to stay focused because I need y'all to really understand this. Peace, coach. How are you, my love? Right? The universe never punishes you. Whatever you call the infinite source of creation isn't punishing you because you were born into sin. You are too infinite to have sin attached to any part of your essence. That's first and foremost. The universe or God concept, whatever you call, do not punish. And it doesn't test you so you can fail or so it can experience or laugh at you falling, right? Talking from a giving. point of view, the universe or the infinite source of Cameo, how are you, my love? Little Rise. The universe is responding to you. It is giving you exactly what you're asking for. And just because you're unknowingly asking for something does not determine whether you get it or not. You get according to who you are. And when I say who you are, let me give you the deeper understanding of that. Understand that God source, life force, the ultimate creator, the supreme superior creator, okay, only understand one language, the language that it was created and birthed from. And that is the language of sound, symbols, and numbers. Ashe? We go deeper into these things in the all things mastery. So I need you to understand that when you experience things and situations that make you uncomfortable, 80% of the time it is not that you're not being punished. Okay, it's not because you are unworthy. It's not because of who you are. It's not because of your sexual orientation. It's not because of the status that you have. It's not because of the degrees that you have or don't have. It simply responds to frequency. So you can be both in your higher states of consciousness and low states of consciousness and still receive both spectrums of things: hate, love, righteousness, unrighteousness, what most of you call good or bad. You are always receiving exactly what you're transmitting. Think of it like this: the universe is also like your gene. You're the commander. If the universe was to literally come in some of y'all faces and say infinite gratitude for sharing the live, yes, vibration, frequency, and utterance. If the universe or whatever you deem is the all in all, the all infinite, God self, whatever it is, was to come face to face with you and literally hand you the formula, many of you would say, "No, I'm good, I don't want it." Not really understanding the power in that, not really understanding if the universe came to you and said, "I literally can give you whatever you desire, whatever your heart yearns for. I can literally give you life." Now, for those of you who are, this sometimes is they're really, I need y'all to also understand and read between the lines. I always speak from polarity, from both spectrums, right? So understand, if the universe is telling you, yes, I can literally give you life, don't misunderstand that for life eternal. You're not a cartoon character. You're not a gamer in a game. You don't get to fail or DIE and then return to the same level. It doesn't work like that. However, when you understand these principles, you are able to petition, affirm, command the universe to give you exactly what you want. Why? Because it needs to experience itself through you. So it can only do that. And one of the ways it does that by not violating what you are transmitting. You're the one who are transmitting whatever you're getting. So if it's a lack of finances, guess what? You're vibrationally transmitting a lack of abundance, a lack of wealth, a lack of finances, a lack of supportive friends, a lack of forging healthy connections. You're transmitting that. The universal principles and laws cannot violate itself. It cannot go against itself. It isn't like humans. And when I say humans, y'all know what I mean. Okay? Because it is only the sea creatures who seek to control in everything. Not only have they been trying to control you, not only have they been harnessing your energy, not only are they fucking with the oh my goodness, not only are they fucking with Earth's natural resources, not only are they messing with and tampering with nature, with all of their dysfunctional systems, heart systems, etc. We're not going to even go down that road, right? Which part? Which part? Which part? Forgive me if I'm not directly paying attention. I'm streaming on multiple platforms, so I'm doing my due diligence and paying attention to you all. So user 47013, I'm not sure what you need me to repeat again, right? So we need to understand that you are creating your experiences because you are a co-creator. You're the one who is transmitting fear. So guess what? You're going to get a lot of situations that is going to cause you to be fearful. You're the one that is so you're the one that's vibrating negatively. You're the one that's giving up. You're the one that's hopeless instead of hopeful. You're getting exactly what you want. Infinite gratitude for the support follow. Marie, infinite gratitude, my love. Tell the truth. Peace, love, infinite gratitude. Infinite gratitude. How are you this rising? Tell the truth, right? You're the one who's transmitting. This is why I say you're a co-creator. This is why I say that it is imperative for you to understand certain fundamental principles that apply to you. The very same things that are blocking the things, the very same, I'll put it like this, simple. The only person who is in their way is you. Is that simple enough? Put an ashe in the comments. The only person that is standing in between you and how much money you want to consistently make is you. The only person that is standing in the way of forging healthy relationships is you. The only one that is standing in the way of forging romantic relationships that are filled with joy and love and belonging is you. The only one that is not becoming the version of you that you know deep down inside you are purposed to be is you. It ain't nobody else. It's you. It's you versus you. It's your higher self versus your lower self. And until you understand these things, until you understand, you will not elevate on a life level. Now, there are levels between levels, but there are degrees of levels. And when you, just like a video game, only I'll just stick to just like the video game. When you are a player in the video game, the only way you can advance to the next level is by you learning the game, is you mastering that level. You don't get to advance to the second level, the third level, the fourth level, the fifth level. And I know it may seem like there are certain people who are advancing in your misjudgments. You're thinking that they don't deserve it. However, remember, the universe don't understand, oh, that's a good person, that's a bad person. They shouldn't be gifted, they shouldn't be blessed, they should be going through destruction and turmoil. That it doesn't matter. You get according to your vibrations, you get according to what you're transmitting. And if you never become aware of your transmissions, how do you expect your life to change? How do you expect to get from point A to point B? How do you expect to elevate? It's literally impossible. So, for those of you who need a deeper understanding of what meta means, it is going beyond the obvious layers of the reality that a lot of you think is subjective. And it's not. It's reflective. Pisha, how are you, my love? Again, meta means going beyond the obvious layers of reality to explore the underlying patterns, principles, truths that govern it, and which a lot of you think is subjective, and it is not. It is reflective. It is going to reflect according to what you are projecting, i.e., what you're transmitting. So how can you change what you don't understand? How can you change what you aren't aware of? Ashe, you cannot. In the context of self-mastery, meta means that you're not only looking at what is from an external standpoint, you're observing the observation of what's within from the root, from the internal, not external. This is the only way it works. When you are thinking from that higher level of consciousness, from the observer standpoint, it allows you to be the observer, observing what's being reflected. To step outside of your current framework of mind, which is a lot of us need to step out of our mind to step back into our right mind. Universal laws, meta laws, are the immutable principles that governs all aspects of life. You need to understand that these laws are always in operation, always 24/7. 24/7. It does not sleep, it does not rest, it does not shut off like many of you think you do. Your consciousness never shuts off. And I need y'all to understand that. Okay? So, this rising, your mind's about to be put back into its right positioning because you're about to understand what the law of vibration, correspondence, cause and effect, polarity, mentalism, gender, magnetism, the law of rhythm, right? We're only going over 8, even though there are more. We have to understand the law of divine oneness. I'm not going to be covering them all because this is not the time nor the place. The law of assumption, the law of attraction, which many of you are aware of and have heard of before, the law of energy, frequency, and relativity. The purpose of this class is to guide you into higher levels of consciousness, where you are not only know about these principles and laws, you will embody them so you can do what? Accelerate your goals. Whatever your goals is, get very clear on them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Get very clear on whatever goals you have, whether it is gaining more peace, whether it is forging healthy relationship, whether it is attracting your soul partner, husband or wife, whether it is gaining more confidence, whether it is attracting, being in the flow of consistent currency, i.e. money, because it's still energy, even though it's fiat. These are the meta laws that are the root principles that governs everything in creation, and you are no exception, my love. So when most people move through reality, reacting to circumstances, being reactive to circumstances, unaware that they are already working with these laws, whether consciously or unconsciously. You are already working with these laws. A lot of you just are unaware that you're working with them. You don't have to keep struggling. So even if you want to be in the limelight, even if you want fortune and fame, it don't matter what it is you want, you can have it. It is for you to experience. And in most cases, a lot of us, when we get the thing that we said we wanted so bad, we no longer want it anymore. And that's primarily due to you raising your level of consciousness. And when you do that, you start understanding that things are just things. They don't make you, neither break you. You start to understand that you are not just this beautifully architectural avatar, that you are so much more, that you are an infinite source of light, that you are an infinite source of consciousness, that you are so much more and you can do so much more, that you don't have to continually minimize yourself, your self-worth, your self-love, or to appease other people, even your lower self. You don't have to be without. So this is why I'm going over these principles with you, Because when you understand them and learn to apply them, guess what? That puts you in a position of authority to predict the energetic reflections, what's being returned to you, project reflection. You can predict the energetic outcome of your choices. Okay, it's not magic, it's mastery. You can absolutely predict the energetic outcome of your choices. So this whole misconception of, oh, you're not supposed to know it all, it's not purpose for you to do it all, and I don't know, and all of this insecure way of thinking, you can absolutely predict the outcome of a thing simply by understanding one of the universal laws, which I'm going to get into, which is cause and effect. A lot of y'all are trying to change the effect, but you're not changing the cause. Okay? You're trying to change the effect, but you're not changing the cause. And there is no separating that universal principle. For every cause, there is an effect, and for every effect, there is a cause. So if you want to change the effect, baby, you're going to have to change the cause. If you want to not live in fear, you're going to have to stop being fearful. The law of exchange also corresponds with that. If you want to experience love in a pure sense, what you have to, guess what? Be the cause of that type of effect. You have to become that pure love. If you want to experience abundance of whatever it is, you have to become that. Because you get according to who you are, what you're transmitting. That's just that. You can dissolve resistance and accelerate manifestation. Hence the title. Pardon me, how to accelerate your goals. You can absolutely dissolve resistance. You can stop repelling the very same things that you want. Infinite gratitude, Kago, for all you do. I see you. You can stop working against the natural order and start working with it with ease. This is why I said, if you don't understand these, if you don't have a proven system, a proven formula, a proven path, you will keep repelling the very same people, places, things, and opportunities you're saying you want. And guess what? You're in control of order, or you're in control of most of it. So this just isn't knowledge. Do not take what I'm sharing with you and mistaking it as just knowledge, just ancient intelligence. Ricky, how are you, my love? Welcome in. This isn't just knowledge. This isn't just information. These are infinite operating systems of how you exist in this reality and what governs reality, whether you like it or not, whether you reject it or not. You're still going to be affected by it. So why not learn, understand, and embody it so you can change the outcomes of your life? Why do I say it's better to do than not to do? It's better to do what I just said. It's because there's a lot of us that are still bitching and moaning about who's the authoritative figure of the household, who's supposed to be leading, who's supposed to be following. We're still arguing about whose genetics is superior. We're still arguing about who's native to which land and continent. We're still arguing about what Trump is doing. We're still arguing about the foolish of things. Why? Because a lot of you are just blinded, deaf, dumb, docile, and choose to be because you just love your state of ignorance. And I don't say that to dig at you, to throw a dab at you. I say that because this is what you need to hear. And too many of us have been told what we want to hear instead of what you need to hear. And what you need to hear is that whether you like it or not, you are the cause of it. You're the cause of it, not your mother, not your father, not your siblings, not your teachers, not nobody else. Right? So let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why some of the same patterns keep showing up in your life? Whether you think you're ignoring it or not. Whether you think you're ignoring it or not. Have you ever wondered why certain of these patterns keep showing up in your life? Showing up in your reality? No matter how hard you work to change it, no matter how hard you work to change your eating habits, no matter how hard you work to gain more money, no matter how hard you hustle, no matter how hard you wish and hope and pray and cry and beg, no matter how hard you're doing all of this with all of your might and all of your strength, if you do not understand these principles, you are causing yourself to accelerate your self destruction instead of accelerating your gifts, your skills, your purposes, accelerating all of the goals that you want to meet. It's the these laws are the reasons why you attract certain people, places, things, opportunities. These laws are the reasons you do any and everything. So why are you consistently doing that which you no longer want to do and doing more of that which you choose not to do? Chats with Mish, how are you, my love? There are principles at play even right now while you're sitting, standing, working in this very moment. In this very moment, these laws are already into playing out right now, silently shaping your reality. This baby, when I tell you this is the best place you can be, and I'm not talking about just in my presence. I'm talking about the ancient wisdom that's being shared with you. Move me out of the equation. Hear the message. Hear what I'm saying to you. These principles are at play right now, shaping everything that you're doing. These principles is what's gonna these principles have everything to do with what you're going to experience in the moments to come. Whether it is an hour from now, 2 hours from now, a week from now, a month from now, or a year from now. You can't bargain with them. You can't sympathize with these laws. You cannot beg for a do-over with these laws. It don't matter what you do. These laws cannot violate its own laws. But here's the good news. Once you understand these laws, you can use them to bend reality in your favor. Now, don't tell me these things is impossible, because many of you saw far too many movies that were telling both truths and lies. Many of you have experienced these things in your own lives. Tanya, how are you, my love? Divine rise and blissful rise to you. So don't tell me that it isn't possible. By the end of this live, do you understand me? At the minimum, you will at least learn the foundations of identifying the unseen principles that are already shaping your life in order for you to reverse engineer it. So what you can do the get the effects that you actually want, because you're causing those effects to come to fruition. Infinite gratitude, Tanya. Infinite gratitude. Make sure you grab in your daily heart means, right? You will understand how to decode each law that works on your mental, your emotions, your energy, your frequency, and your spiritual level. You will at least fundamentally have the knowledge on how to apply these laws with precision if you want it. You will be able to neutralize patterns that are keeping you stuck, right? Now, some of you are under the guise or under the delusion, infinite gratitude for the gifts, my love. Some of you are under the guise or the disillusion that everything takes time. Time heals all wounds. Accelerating your goals takes time. Reconditioning your mind and your body takes time. No, my love. And yes, my love, it is going to take as much time as you think it takes. It is going to take as much time as you continually say it's going to take. Until you understand that that is a disillusion and illusion, time doesn't do anything but keep you in dysfunction, rooted in self dysfunction, particularly. It is not time that changes anything. It is your frequency, your vibration, and your choices that you make every day. That's what changes things. That's what causes things to manifest. Your choices are predicting the outcome. So don't tell me that it takes time to love. Don't tell me that it takes time to heal. Don't tell me that it takes time to reprogram your neurological system or your nervous system. Don't tell me it takes time to make money. Don't tell me, because I have been a living proof of the exact opposite of that thing. It don't take time to do anything, but what it do require is your choice. What it do require is your willingness. What it do require is your action. This is why the formula works. Hi, beautiful. Hi, Yanni. So when I teach you, so when I say to you, what you feed gains power, and what you starve loses its power. So, understanding these laws that I'm about to teach you will accelerate any goal that you have. And that's not magic, it's mastery. That's not mysticism, it's just physics. It's indisputable. So, what you didn't learn? I didn't learn physics. I didn't know none of this. Do y'all understand? Please, please, please pause for 1 second. I didn't have an awareness of all of this when I was back there. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen. I didn't have an awareness. I didn't say I didn't have the information. Many of you already have the knowledge and information, but you don't understand the principle behind what I just said. What you feed gains power, and what you starve loses power. So the longer you continually feed your negative internal dialogue, the longer you keep feeding your past by repeating the same traumatic stories, or the longer you're going to keep reliving them. The longer you continually feed this false thing that you have accepted, this false ideology that a lot of us have accepted, that, oh, I'm good single, I don't want no man, I don't want no man, I don't want no woman, I don't want to be in a healthy relationship. Lies. And some of you know you lying. Some of you know very well you lying. And that is the very same thing that you're feeding. So guess what? You're going to stay. You're going to continually be in a repetitive cycle of feeding that lie, feeding that false narrative. A lot of you say, oh, money ain't this and money ain't that. A lot of you say you don't care about this and you don't care about that. A lot of you are saying these same things, but you don't really mean it. But you're not understanding that you're feeding it. So guess what? It's going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And a lot of you are evident of that, just like I was evident of that. You know how that should, let me tell you something. I'm not saying this because I wasn't that person. I'm saying this because I was that person. I was that person who was still suffering from abandonment issues. I was that person who held resentment in her heart. I was that person who was mad with the world. I was that person who kept lying to myself, saying I was this and I really wasn't. I was the one that was the perpetrator. I was the one that was flexing falseness. I was the one that was accepting things that I know damn well I did not want to accept. And guess where it got me? To a point where I broke. To the point where I was so low, I was so hopeless, I was so just hopeless. It led me to a place where it led me to such a dark place that I could not see the light if it was shining from within me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Peace, loyal, bliss will rise. So don't tell me that these laws isn't always working, whether you know it or not. You're the one that gets to choose what you feed and what you starve. And when you understand the law of cause and effect, when you understand no matter what you do, there's always something that's happening. Ashe, I attempted suicide twice. And the second time I was in my adulthood and I was almost successful. Do you understand what I'm saying? I know what it is. I know what it's like to continue down that path. Don't tell me that you yourself or someone you don't know or someone's story you have heard that didn't reach the brink of jumping off that bridge. Blissful rise. Hi. Hi, Matamika. Don't tell me that you don't know someone. However, I'm about to give y'all a very real truth. Do people deserve to reach that point? I don't wish bad, no harm on no one. However, my meditations for all beautiful beings is for you to experience what you need to experience in order for you to elevate. Nicholas, how are you? My affirmation and meditation for all beings and living creation is to experience whatever you need to experience in this lifetime because there's a reason for everything. So should you be wishing people experience certain things that's none of your damn business? Absolutely not. However, what I am telling you, what I am going to tell you is that you should take an inventory of the parts that you are playing in your own demises. You should take inventory in the parts that you are playing as to why so many of your relationships are so dysfunctional, as to why you keep attracting the same people, places, and things. You should absolutely take inventory of why you keep doing the things that you're doing. You should absolutely take inventory of why you're still dealing with ancestral unhealthy behavior patterns. Because at any moment in time, you can put a stop to it. And that's not fiction, that's fact. At any given time, you can say, you know what? I'm not going to repeat this again. I'm going to get out of this loop. I don't want to be enslaved anymore. Mentally, physically, spiritually, I don't want to be calling nobody else master no more. I don't want nobody else harvesting my energy because you need your energy because it is your life force. So let's get into the first law, vibration. Everything is always in motion. However, if you continually rely on your external stimuli, I taught a masterclass on this. What is your external stimuli? Everything you think you see, because you don't see with this, you see with this, but they trick you into thinking that you see with your eyes and not see with your pineal gland. External stimuli, everything you see, taste, touch, hear, and feel. It doesn't matter that you were conditioned to rely on your external stimuli. But once you hear the truth, once you tap into divine truth, you can't undo it. Everything exists. This is the law of vibration. Everything is moving. Everything. Many of you who've seen the movie Lucy, it is a good analogy into a lot of these universal laws and principles that I'm going to be sharing with you. Nothing rests. Everything moves. I know a lot of people think that you're not doing nothing when you're sitting still. You are. I know a lot of you think that things are not constantly moving around you, but they are, because the law, everything moves. It vibrates. It has a frequency. So when you are only relying on your external stimuli, that means that you are not tapping into your inner sense, which is your first sense. Right? Think of the last time where I give this analogy all the time because it's most common. Think of the last time you walked into a room and you felt the energy before anyone spoke. Think about a time where you walked into anywhere, whether it was a club, whether it was a business meeting, whether it was a family function. Just think of a time where you walked in a room and you just sensed that somebody in their energy is very off-putting. It is very dark and it is very loud. Vector, how are you, my love? Welcome in. Right? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So when I tell you these laws are already work, that they are always in the works, you are not just a solid being. You are also energy in motion. Hence, what some people think they know when they talk about energy in motion, having emotional intelligence. Some of the people y'all listening to today don't know a damn thing about what energy in motion is. Don't know a damn thing about EQ, let alone HQ, which is a master class that I have inside of my ATM Infinity Circle. You hear a lot of people talking about EQ, not understanding that HQ is superior to EQ because your heart is 1,000 times stronger magnetically and electrically than your supercomputer, right? So to better understand this law of energy, imagine that you are in the same room, right? You're in the same room, there's two radios going on in the same room. Each of those radios are tuned into different stations. The music that you hear from either one of those radios, the music that you choose to hear is what you are in tune with. So if you choose radio number one that's playing classical music, or whether you choose radio number two that is on the frequency of wop wop bop bop top of the top dot dot all shit that don't make sense, all the things that is lowering your frequency, you get to choose. Your life works the same way. You can only hear, only receive according to what machines you are currently plugged into. Don't y'all remember, and this is why iPhone chargers don't charge Android phones. You know why? It wasn't created to do so. The same way you wasn't created to live deaf, dumb, blind, dumb, docile, and ignorant to who you are. Just like you wasn't created to plug into any type of resource to receive fuel, to receive your food, your nourishment. You wasn't never meant to plug into no external source of God concept. You were never purposed and designed to plug into man-made religions. That's why it's one of the most prolific self-destructive tools and sockets that you can ever remain plugged in, because it's been draining you and the rest of the people who are still plugged into it since its conception. Notice I said since its conception. Its conception. Because everything have a conception point, except this is where it gets good. Everything has a conception point, except all beings that is natural to the cosmos, to the ethereal, and to this planet, to the sun. Now, if y'all can read between the lines, if I was you, I would get real excited. So when I say things like infinite gratitude, you are infinite source of light. You are infinite creation. You are infinite consciousness. That's not just only to pump you up and get you excited. That's to remind you of who you are. That's to remind you of the authority you have. That's to remind you to eliminate your shit. That's to remind you to get your life in order, get your mind in order. That's to remind you of who you are and and what you're supposed to be plugged into to receive nourishment according to your design. Because there are only certain beings on this earth that is natural to the earth. This is why you can't just mess around with people, places, and things. This is why you just can't be inside those clubs, drink those spirits. This is why you just can't be around certain people, even certain people that are organic to this earth. This is why you can't do what they do. And until you understand that, guess what? You're going to keep going against the natural flow of what your divine current. You wasn't meant to do as they do. You wasn't meant to speak as they speak. You wasn't meant to live as they live. And every time you reject this wisdom, every time you repel this wisdom, every time you ignore those knocks from the universe, those knocks from your higher consciousness, no matter what shape, form it comes in, you're going to have to repeat that same life cycle over and over and over and over and over and over again. Why would you keep doing that? So now that you understand vibration a little bit better, let's get into the mirror that's being reflected back to you. Let's talk about the law of correspondence. Okay? Your outer reality mirrors your inner state. No matter how many times you look in the mirror, no matter how many times you look in the mirror, it's not going to change its reflection. It can't. Notice that I say it won't. It can't. Because that goes against the universal law, the meta law and principle of correspondence. Your external world is created by your inner state, not the reversal of it. Life is happening to you. It's happening through you. The conditions, the relationships, and the experience that you see, that you are experiences, are the outside of what it is a reflection of your inside. This is why you can't lie to yourself for so long. This is why you can't hide from yourself for so long, because eventually light will shine through it. Light will reveal everything that is done in the dark, because light was created from the dark. It don't matter how many times you wish things away, you hope things away, you beg things away. Life is always going to mirror what's inside of you. That means what's deeply embedded in your heart, what's deeply embedded in your subconscious. So if you're wondering why your reality is the way it is, if you're wondering why you're experiencing suffering after suffering after suffering, if you're wondering why you don't have a life partner, if that's your desire, if you're wondering why you're not opportunities that's going to benefit you as well as the others is not happening, it's because that's not what you're transmitting, and that's not what your frequency is mirroring. You can close your eyes all you want, it ain't gonna go away. Cyrus, how are you, my love? Peace, peace, peace. All right. This is why you just finally just surrender to you. Surrender to your higher consciousness. I mean, damn, isn't it about time? Some of y'all cannot bear enough more. Some of y'all are getting to that point. Some of y'all are at that point, truth be told. Some of y'all know people who are at that point, who done suppressed and suppressed and suppressed and suppressed and suppressed until now it can no longer be repressed. Until now they are imploding from the inside out. And your reality, which is the life that you're living, is a reflection from that. So it gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse and it gets worse. Remember the first law of vibration, nothing stays the same, everything moves. Just because you think, just because the results are not happening right away, don't think that they're not working. How many times people go to the hospital and find out they are in stage 2, 3, 4, 5 with a terminal illness? Do you think they wanted that? Do you think a lot of those things that was going on in their body, how their organs were shutting down, how that whatever that disease or that terminal illness was spreading, do you think they really understood where it was spreading, why it was spreading, how it was spreading? Not to the degree in which they should have. But had they listened, not with their ears, not with their eyes, had they listened, how had they taken the time to better understand themselves, who they are, and their purposes, had they Blackwater, how are you, my love? Had they paused for at least moments of time and sat in stillness to hear and not ignore what their bodies was telling them, what their minds was telling them. Because your body is a living organism. It's conscious. It's always going to tell you things. This is why I say we have to do a real deep self-reflection and stop blaming it on everybody and everything else. Do they have a part that they played in it? Yes. Are they the main character? No. Are they even the author? No. Are they even one of the writers? No. Which means they are very insignificant and play a very insignificant role in what you're creating. So true. James Van DeVries didn't know he had stage 3. Yes. I'm not telling these things to harm you, hurt you. I'm telling you these things because when something gets serious enough in your life, it really forces you to become more serious about your life. So all of these hoop and hollers, oh, black people, black power, I love myself, I love myself, do you? I want some of y'all to sit with yourselves. Take at least 5 minutes and ask yourself, reflect, do you really love yourself? What even is your perception of what love is? Peace, Uncle Rome, how are you? Right? Life isn't happening to you, it's happening through you. The conditions, relationships, all of these things. What are the areas in your life that feels the most imbalanced, the most out of line? Don't tell me you don't know. Just tell the truth. You don't want to know. Because knowing requires you to be active. Knowing requires you to do. But I'm telling you, the price you're going to continually pay for your willful ignorance is going to be way more than you can ever pay for you choosing to elevate. The price of still unknowingly operating or projecting or sending transmissions, cognitions, correspondences that goes against your very nature to accelerate. One of your primary functions as a living being, as a living organism, is to expand, is to grow, is to excel. And just like the law of cause and effect, the law of correspondence was as above, so below, and it dictates everything in between. There is no exclusions and no one that is excluded. You will be affected. You will be affected. What areas in your life is out of balance? You're choosing, because if you are not accelerating, you're decelerating. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you're not going up, you're going down. If you're not moving to the right, you're moving to the left. If you're not moving forward, you're moving backward. If it's not black, it is white. And when you understand, when I get into the law of polarity, just because both sides operate on the same and are parallel, which means they are one, just like we are one, the infinity loop, that's what that means. We are one, right? So when you understand that you are infinite, the infinity loop consciousness, you understand that there can be no right without wrong. There can be no left without right. There can be no up without down. There can be no righteous without unrighteous. There can be no dark without light. There is no such thing. There are just some of us that continually dilute our minds with stupidity. Stupidity, however you want to pronunciate it. It's stupid to think that nothing is happening because you're choosing not to be active and get active and do something about it. So do you really love yourself? Ask that question. Do you really love your children? Do you really love your spouse? Do you really love you? Ask yourself that question. If you are out of place, if things remain out of place, that causes dysfunction. If your outer world is a mirror of what it is reflecting, if your outer mirror is reflecting what it's reflecting, go inwardly. You cannot you cannot correct something that you first are unaware of. And you cannot correct something if you don't know how to correct it. This is why I really dislike when people say, oh, go within, just go meditate, right? We are to experience things different. For whatever reason, we just learn different. This is what makes us unique. There are different styles of learning. There are different styles of doing things, just like there are different roads and paths that you can take to get to the same destination. I cannot stand when someone is a self-proclaimed leader, a self-proclaimed teacher, a self-proclaimed guru, a self-proclaimed mastery this, and I'm coach this, and I got a certification for what? Damn piece of paper. If you are presenting yourself as a mastery expert, a self-mastery this, a business that, a spiritual leader this, a guru this, you better stop saying and telling the people to go do this and to go do that when they are crying inside. Because if they knew how to do it, most of them would do it. Because I don't know anybody in their right mind that would choose to suffer willingly. Outside of the addictions, outside of the inside, outside of the constructs of all of the situations, I don't know anybody in their right mind who would willingly choose to be in pain, who would willingly. Notice I said in a right mind, in a righteous mind. So I'm not talking about the other people. You're positioning yourself as the expert, right? But yet you're telling people that you just told that you are the expert of whatever it is that you are teaching. And then when they ask you for your help, how to do this, foundationally, you should be able to give them an answer, but yet you fucking playing hopscotch around the truth that you really don't know what the fuck you doing, the fuck you talking about, or who you even talking around. Fundamentally, foundationally, all experts in any area can tell you foundationally what you need to do according to their expertise. So just like me, right? I am an expert self-mastery mentor and educator. I'm in my lane. This is my lane. I'm not going to teach you how to be a millionaire. Guess what? Because I'm not a millionaire right now. It doesn't matter whether I want to be or not. I'm not positioning myself to be an expert business coach or financial coach. That's not my lane. But when I say I'm an expert self-mastery mentor and educator, if you ask me, somebody asked me, and let's role play. Somebody asked me, when do I start in my self-mastery journey? Please, somebody ask me, please. Because all the excuses that I'm hearing when these experts are asked questions is, you know what I did is I go within. This is what the Lord is asking you to do. This is what the cosmos is asking you to do. This is what is you need to do this, or they're giving you misinformation. When do you start your self-mastery journey? The one piece of advice I can give you as a self-mastery expert and where to start on your self-mastery journey is to minimize your consumption, because what you consume, you become. Which is a self-mastery, one of my frameworks that I teach. What you consume, you become. So foundationally, it's not leading them in the wrong direction, right? It doesn't matter their circumstance. It doesn't matter their orientation. It don't matter where they are. It don't matter what their age is. No, it don't matter. This is why what I'm teaching you is called universal principles, not continent principles, not state principles, not personality principles, not gender principles. It's universal principles, which are truths across the entirety. So foundationally, if I cannot give you at least that, then I don't need to be an expert at teaching self-mastery. I'm not even going to answer the question how I came to that. Remember, I teach you all that repetition builds retention. I am at an expert level because I've been doing this for a very long time. And whatever you do for a very long time, it becomes a dominant program, which becomes second nature, which becomes autopilot, which becomes automatic. Which is what turns into patterns. So y'all need to start paying attention to who and what you are consuming, to the information that you are consuming. Thank y'all for asking that question. That's one of the things that burns me up the most when I see a person that is positioning themselves to be an expert of whatever it is, and they cannot even give you a foundational starting point. Minimizing what you consume is a foundational starting point that what you need to do in order to excel anywhere or to accelerate your goals, no matter what they are. You need to minimize your consumption. Why is that, Venus? Because you cannot create, you cannot materialize if you are not able, if you don't have the energetic capacity to. I know many of y'all heard of energy vampires. There are literally entities and things that are ciphering off a lot of y'all energy right now. And not only do many of y'all don't understand this, y'all also don't know how to replenish. But the foundational principle that I just gave you, when you start minimizing your consumption, guess what you inadvertently do? Start recalling your power back. Start rejuvenating yourself. Right? It's just like when your phone is losing charge, what do? You go plug it in a socket so you can receive some juice. But if you plug it into a socket that you're not understanding that the wires is all fucked up and jammed up, that there's a surge in the energy that you can't visibly see, that you can't audibly hear. But if you're not careful, you're gonna plug your ass into the wrong source and consume energy that's going to deplete you beyond your measure. Peace, Riri. How are you, my love? Let's rise. Do y'all understand how these principles are y'all getting it? Put an I in the comment section if you're starting to understand why these universal laws are so important. Not only are they important for you just to understand, they're important for you to embody. Ashe, Ashe? Yep, I got a book, another one-on-one, something else that has been brought to my awareness. Okay, whenever you're ready, my love. Okay? So if you're constantly experience chaos, guess what? Especially in your relationships, this is often due to unresolved frequencies and vibrations that is in your core. Do y'all understand anything about parasites? Put a 1 in the comment section if you do. Put a 2 in the comment section if you don't know anything about parasites. So if you know a little bit about parasites, put a 1 in the comment section if you know anything about parasites. Best viewers on. Okay, infinite gratitude. I see the responses. What do parasites do? How do parasites survive? How do parasites thrive? What type of environments do they need to survive? Parasite's primary purpose is to do what? Feed on its host. Not only that, it needs a healthy host to feed on. Have any of y'all ever seen the movie Day Zero, Ground Zero with what's that white boy name? Brad Pitt, the zombie apocalypse movie where there was a zombie outbreak, and we're jumping to the end of the story where he had to inject. He figured out that the parasite, right, needed healthy hosts. So if the body was contaminated, the parasite couldn't enter the body and contaminate it. The parasite couldn't, or the virus, or whatever it was, couldn't penetrate the body to feed off of its life force. And a lot of y'all have parasitic people in your bodies. A lot of y'all have parasitic noise and vibrations and core frequencies in your bodies. And it is sucking the very life out of you. It is. Parasites need energy to thrive. It needs food. It needs substance. This is and this is where them cravings come from, because sometimes it's not even you craving, it's the parasite craving things. And the parasite, guess what? The longer it remains in your system, the stronger it gets. And guess what? It doesn't have to do much to tell you to go get a lollipop. It don't have to force you to go sit and let somebody abuse you. That parasite, and I'm not only talking about the little worms that you get from fruit, I'm talking about people, places, and things. Parasites comes in all forms, shapes, and sizes. Some look good, some don't. Some feel good, some don't. However, they are still a parasite. Parasites are parasites, period. I don't give a damn what outfit they put on. There are some people who are just parasitic. Just come in your life to suck your very life force, and then you wondering why they left you, you feel so drained, so tired, so fatigued, and then they're going out and partying for the next 5 days. Why? Because they needed your vital essence in order for them to do that. Energy needs energy to thrive. Energy needs energy to survive. Energy needs energy to create. And a lot of you aren't accelerating your goals, not even nowhere near your goals, because you don't have enough available energy to manifest them. So guess what? Just like in a game of tug of war, the stronger wins. This is why I say your dominant mental programs are dictating your behaviors. Your dominant core heart frequencies are magnetizing strong enough to tell the universe, hey, this is what I want more than this. If your new program that says no, I won't allow anything but healthy love, but your dominant core magnetism and your dominant transmitter is still transmitting and being magnetized on no, I still want unhealthy love. Guess what you're going to continually get? People who is going to come into your life and just cause you all type of ruckus. People is going to come into your life and mirror the very same thing that you are unknowingly asking for. You're asking for, it's like I said it the last time, when you do not understand your core heart frequency, this is and this is science this is sciencey when I'm what I'm talking about. But I'm about to describe to you brain and heart coherence instead of incoherence. So when your brain and your heart is in a incoherent state, the dominant will always be the victor, right? So if your dominant transmitters, your dominant signals, your dominant neural networks and neural pathways, hence all of your programs. And remember, in a lot, I told y'all, you have a program for everything. Just like you have trillions of cells in your body's billions, you have trillions of neural networks, i.e., relationships. You have a relationship for money, i.e., mental program. You have a relationship to how you speak, dance, talk, i.e., your mental program. You have a relationship for how you give and receive, or how you take, or how you create, how you destroy. So the dominant program will always win. So no matter what new affirmation you set and are saying, you can speak them until you turn blue. But until that new frequency starves the old dominant frequency, you're going to keep reliving more of what you don't want to keep reliving. You're going to keep being broke. You're going to keep living in poverty. You're going to keep operating and creating from a space of scarcity, a space of lack. Ashe, you're going to keep attracting people who is going to tell you you're not worthy of nothing. You're going to continually attract people that aren't true supporters of you. You're going to continually pull people into your vortex because this is what your dominant frequency is in your heart. A lot of you have resentment in your heart and you don't know why you keep getting people in your life that causes you to not trust them. It ain't that you don't trust them. You don't trust you. They're only enacting the law of correspondence, because what is in here is going to reflect what's out there. So it's a big telltale sign. I don't give a damn how much you hopscotch around this truth. Don't care how much you close your ears. You can plug your ears all you want to. This is the truth. It is an undesirable truth to many. Nonetheless, it is the truth. What you witness when people, places, things come into your life and mirror and cause destruction, wreak havoc, lie to you, cheat on you, abuse you, all of these different things. 80% of the time, it is because they are only reflecting the law of correspondence is being reflected to you through them, because that's how things work. I'm not the only one that can give you divine wisdom. You can go out right outside in nature and plant your bare feet on the grass, especially if you put a little water underneath your feet. The earth can speak to you too. Trees can speak to you too. Water can speak to you too. But because you're so focused of not relinquishing control or wanting to be in control of everything, you're looking for a savior that comes in the right size, the right height, the right shape, with the right amount of dollars in his or her bank account, with all the right things that are being said, with all the right actions, because you're so hell bent on having control, this false sense of control on everything, you are missing every beautiful opportunity that you can ever experience, because while you're busy being of the world, as y'all say, and not in the world, experiencing the world in the way in which you were divinely purposed to experience it, all of these things keep reoccurring. Ashe? Okay. Oftentimes I'm like Venus. Let me tell you something. I chuckle to myself because it don't matter how much. This is why I'm saying, like, them dominant programs, right? Especially when they are healthy programs. I love what I do so much. I barely get to the fourth presentation slide of the information that I want to give you. I chuckle to myself for a few different reasons, but one of them is just like, can you ever just complete the whole presentation? Can you just skim off some things? So it's me versus me, and I'm like, if I skim, then they won't get a deeper understanding of this. This is always like, just make 4 slides. And I'm like, no, because I have to do this and I have to do this, because you can't give them particles. They need the whole thing. I love what I do so much, and I love you so much because I love me so much. I just want to give to you. I barely get through to the 4th, 5th slide. By time, by the time my inner being says, all right, you can continue it another time, or a lot of times I don't continue it, because if you don't choose to be where you need to be, baby, you missing it. If you don't choose to be where you need to be, that's the you problem, not a me problem. I'm in tune. Me and my higher self is locked in, baby. Friend City in. Chuck and Chucker, okay? Chuckies and Chakisha. We like this. Me and you are never part. Okay? We like this. Right? So I need y'all to understand that as long as you don't put yourself first, as long as you don't get with someone that can educate you, and when I mean qualified to educate you, I'm talking about qualified to educate you. How are you going to go to somebody and say, can you teach me how to tie my shoes? And they don't even understand what a string is. They don't even understand what a loop is, let alone loops, plural. In order for you to master anything, to accelerate anything, this is why when you hear these millionaires talk about how they became millionaires, other than them kept, they continue to start and stop and work things and fail at things. You'll hear multi-millionaires who are educated tell you these things all the time. However, when they finally understood that, you know what, I can't do it by myself. This is just not my area of expertise. I need to invest in someone who is qualified to teach me how to get to where I need to be, to where I want to go for whatever reason. And the primary thing that all of them say, primary thing that all of them say is that you get there by having proven systems and formulas that don't work, that work for you and with you. Infinite gratitude, Miss Lefty. How are you, my love? So this is one of the reasons why a lot of us isn't progressing forward. We're progressively moving backwards for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. However, it's one of the reasons why we're not moving forward, why we're not accelerating, because we're not understanding that if you could have done it by yourself, you would have, if you're in your right mind. No tree stands alone in the forest. Whatever it is, Tiana, my love, how are you, honey? Whatever it is you seek to do, you need help doing it. So if you're not important enough to choose you, baby, I'm not talking to you. I'm not really over talking to people who ain't really ready to do the work. Because let me tell you something. Sometimes, sometimes, and I'm being real transparent. Sometimes in my field of work, when you're seeing people who constantly don't choose this though, when you're seeing people who are constantly shouting, I want change, I want change, I want change, but they are unwilling to be the change, to do what's necessary to change, sometimes it can get a little frustrating. Because I'm like, wrapped up in a bow, using your favorite color. It even smells good using your favorite aroma that you love. And you still be like, nah, I'm good. You won't verbally say it, but your inactions are telling me everything I need to know. Because I am one who don't force our flow. It is just real sad to see how many people literally, verbally, inwardly and outwardly express all of their gripes, all of their complaints, all of their griefs, all of their trials, all of their tribulations, all of their aspirations, all of their goals, all of their hopes, all of their wishes, and literally won't do what they need to do in order to achieve it. This is why they say the richest people are buried 6 feet below. Not because that's where the body returns to, not because they chose to be there. It is because they got there never ever exploring how great they could have been or the great things they could have achieved because they never took the steps to achieve them. Ashe? So that was, we are currently at law of cause and exchange. Now, I may revisit, I may come back Wednesday because Wednesday is my next scheduled live. I may come back Wednesday and finish because you need to understand all of it, right? And sometimes it takes more than just reading the book because we learn differently. We absorb things differently. There are some people, yes, who can do it on their own and figure it out on their own. But what if you have a team of people with you that is an expert in all of the different areas that you needed? What if you didn't have to do it by yourself? What in business they also teach you one of the must-have tools is automated systems, automation. This is how true CEOs lead. And they didn't learn that only by reading books. They learned that by hiring people who were qualified to teach them how to build these systems, these proven system structures. No architect has ever built an architecture without a blueprint. You need a blueprint. Okay? It's required. It's not something that you can be like, well, I don't need those potatoes. Okay? No, this is not I don't need a potato today. You need proven systems, formulas, and pathways to accelerate your goals. It's not a pick and choose because all of them are important. Just like all of these meta laws and universal principles are important. You don't get to choose one over the other because they're all working. Why not understand how they all work? So when you're presented with a situation to show thyself approved, to show that you have everything that you need mentally, spiritually, physically, that you have all the tools you need, that you are capable of the next level. But many of us are not reaching our next level because time and time again, you are proving not only to yourself, but to the universe that you're not ready for more money. The money that you said you wanted, by the way. You're not ready for that love connection. The love connection that you say you want, by the way. You're not ready to elevate in that position, the position that you said you wanted, by the way. You're simply not ready. And those of you who get what you said you wanted, many times, yeah, you're going to get it, but guess what? You're not going to keep it because just like parasites need your energy and need to be fed in order to survive, you don't get to keep what you don't cultivate. So, yeah, many of us have ran through money. And we couldn't keep the money because we didn't understand money. We didn't have financial literacy. We didn't have discipline over the money. Many of you don't stay in healthy relationships because you don't beg for the man, beg for the woman. And when you not even realize that you don't even have what it takes to cultivate the relationship, to cultivate the consistent money flow, to cultivate the opportunities, to cultivate the acceleration. So guess what? You don't get what you don't cultivate. It's just like a plant. When you stop feeding a plant and starving it from its vital nutrients and food that it needs, it will do what? Not DIE, because nothing DIEs that is natural to the earth. However, it is always going to lose its vital essence, and that energy is not going to dissipate. It is just going to be transferred from one source to the next source. Why not take control and be in authority of where that energy is going or isn't going? Because you have the authority to do so. That's not something that just sounds cute. I'm telling you the truth. But it's not the truth that you want to hear. You want me. Some of y'all want me. Some of y'all, I ain't even going to say me. I'm going to take us out the equation. Let's remove us. Some of us, a lot of us, we want people to stroke our wounds. We want people to keep cutting open the same scar over and over and over and over and over and over again, continually bleeding out. As soon as they heal, you cut them right back open. As soon as they heal, somebody's saying, "Ooh, look at that scar right there. It just healed. Damn, it just healed." It looked like the new skin is growing over it. You mind if I bust it back open? And some of y'all silly enough to be like, okay, sure. Okay. Come on now. Funny, not funny. Sure. You can come suck me dry. Sure. You can come drain my life force. If it makes you happy, that's what we're gonna do. If you want me to be unhappy, sure, as long as you're smiling. You want me to be broke and broken? Absolutely. Oh my, when do we start? When do I sign up to say broken, broken? Mm. I am. How are you, my love? Reminds me of Teddy Penn. I think you better let it go. Right? Some of y'all is like, oh my goodness. I've been waiting for somebody to invalidate me all this time. Some of us be like, you know what? I want you to keep telling me I'm not worth it because it makes you feel absolutely great. And right now, you're my priority. You feeling good is my priority. You feeling more worthy than I do is my priority. I exist only for you. I exist for your pleasure. I'm going to continually jump through hoops because I signed up to be the clown in a circus. I'm going to continue to stress myself out because I decided that I love being your punching bag and your relief bag and your dumpster. Come on over, bring it all to me. Tell me all your problems. Put all your garbage in my mind. Put all your garbage in my heart. Suck me dry. Tell me all of your heartaches. Tell me all of your gripes because you're more important than me. Your self-worth and your self-value and your peace is more important than mine. So here, just suck me dry. Loyal P, it better not be no more. No more. No more, no more, no more. No more. This is what a lot of us are doing. Directly or indirectly. Knowingly or unknowingly. And guess, you know what behind the scenes of all of this? Can somebody tell me? Damn shame. Damn shame. Baby, if them M's was infinite, I'll just, woo, damn. Damn, damn, damn. Damn, 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 damn shame. Yes. But y'all want to know what all of that have in common? The reasons why, the primary reasons why you're doing all of that? You want to know what's behind the scenes? You and these universal principles and these meta laws. So until you make yourself a priority, until you unstupefy your mind, until you unstupefy your body, until you unstupefy all the stupid ish that you're doing, that you're keeping inside and not eliminating it. You know, my mind is now on autopilot to autocorrect. So you know how people say, "Oh, it's good. That it's good." No, instead of that, understand that your words are commands. Why? Because they are frequency. It baffles me how the wisest person be like, you know, that shit that I just kicked, or this shit good. Baby, let me tell you something. I don't kick, spit, preach, ish. You know what I have been doing and have been doing for a long time? Eliminating the shit because that's where it really belongs. Eliminate it. So when I say unstupefy yourself and your mind and your perspectives, I mean eliminate all of the ish. And that includes people. don't care, and not me. Let me stop saying that. I retract. I don't care enough about me. You should care enough about you. People are going to be people. It don't matter their status. If my children are of a certain age and they grown and whatever it is, whatever they in my house or another house, guess what, baby? If you keep sucking me dry, one of us ain't gonna make it. And I tell you like Kevin Hart daughter told him when she was giving a story of how there was monsters that they was fighting and they was all on the top bunk, and she said and his father and Kevin Hart asked her, well, why did you throw the girl off the bed? And his daughter said, because somebody had to go and it wasn't going to be me. That little girl got some sense and wits about her. Somebody gotta go, or something gotta go, but who it ain't gonna be and what it ain't gonna be is me and what and whom I love. So if you're choosing to remain all of the things, then baby, go ahead and do it. You just won't be doing it in my vortex. Because I will not allow you to drain my very life force just so you can get your rocks off. Bars. Boom. Bars. Okay? Say it with me. I'm not gonna allow you to drain my life force. I'm gonna allow you to suck me dry. I'm not. I will not. I will not. Okay? You will not drain my life force so you can thrive. You will not do that. I will not allow you to. I will not minimize me for you. I will not stop growing to appease you. I'm not going to be repeating my past. I'm not going to keep telling the same old stories of how I healed. I'm not going to keep telling you what happened in my past. I'm not going to keep revisiting and re-traumatizing myself just because you want to traumatize. With all due respect and with all sincerity, I don't want to hear your whole life story of how you was treated like Jesus. I don't want to hear your whole life story. I don't want to hear how you climbed out, how you crawled out, how you walked out. I don't want to hear what they did. I don't want to hear what they didn't do. I don't care. You know why? And what's that behind the scenes? What that's doing is they are feeding off of your energy. At what point in time do you stop yourself and be like, oh, okay, because now I know your whole life story. I can write an autobiography on all the traumatic stories you told me, called the traumatization of you. Because you done told me time and time and time and time again. Every time you jump in somebody's life, you trauma bonded. Every time you meet somebody, you trauma bonded. Every time you do you trauma dumping. Every time you talking about what happened to what the stories you continually repeat or the stories you continually live. Every time, and y'all think it's cool. Well, what was your experience, when growing up? Your experience in the hood? Um, did you ever experience racism? Like, how was your life growing? How was that? Like how was it? Was your mom like my mom? Was your dad like my dad? Was he not in your life either? Okay. Oh yeah, you had abandonment issues too. Me too. Let's keep talking about it. Okay. I mean, come on. When are you going to get a clue and buy a vow and know that it is only you? AEI. cannot exist when you are in the process of self-development. A-E-I-O is not important when you are growing. A-E-I-O is irrelevant when you are mastering self, soul, and spirit. When it comes to your goals, baby, and you have to get real confident and real courageous to be able to either dismiss yourself, remove yourself, or if that's not an option, to tell them what they're not going to continually do in your presence. You're going to start being aware. You're not going to be silent anymore. You're going to speak up for yourself when you need to speak up for yourself. You're going to stop explaining why you want to live. You're going to stop explaining to that no good man or woman as to why you're breaking up with them. You're going to stop explaining to your toxic children and family members as to why you are moving and transitioning away from them. You have got and going to start giving excuses for your self-development. You're going to stop making rhyme, reasons, justifications that are irrelevant and are hurtful to your elevation. Make up your mind. Even Mickey Mouse said that he can't stand a double-minded person. He don't like lukewarm people. You either hot or you cold. Pick one. Choose ye this day whom you will serve. Mickey Mouse or your higher self. Because the days of you believing in Peter Pan, Daffy Duck, Goofy Duck, Buzz Lightyear, all of them, and I love all of them. The day you stop thinking, knowing, and accepting that those aren't fictitious characters is the day you unveil the truth that you've been ignoring for, I don't know, for far too long. Ashe? Now, here's the exciting part because I'm about to, until next time. Okay? And Cuzzo, I have to let you know because I have to give you this link. I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know how long this is going to last. Okay? I don't know how long I'm going to continue to do whatever I'm about to do, how long I'm going to keep what I'm about to keep. But right now, you can receive mentorship from me. Right now, you can get one of my master trainings, Creating Your Desired Reality, for an investment in exchange, okay, for only $59.99 versus $195. Well, no, $197, pardon me. I know, Cuzzo, I should have told you before I did it, but I was literally going back and forth with myself saying, no. And on the other shoulder, I'm like, I have to remind myself that I serve underserved people who really want to change, who really want to invest in themselves. So one of the higher version one. So instead of investing $197, you can invest only $59.99, which is going to give you the foundations of mastery, which you need to start your journey. Another element that you need to start your journey of mastering self, accelerating your goals, getting into alignment. There are 9. There are 9 master lessons in there that are absolutely incredible and they are fundamental. Not only that, you gain lifetime access for as long as its duration of life into all things Mastery Infinity Circle, where you have personal access to me, to more teachings and hands-on training. You think this was good? Imagine if you had personal access to me. Imagine if you had such access and didn't use it. But let's imagine if you actually had that type of access to me to help you along your journey, to DM me a message while you're doing the work. Because I walk with you. I'm not walking for you, baby. And I don't have my throat chakra is fully in alignment and open and not closed. I know how to speak up for myself in many different tones. And you going and depending on where we are, that's the tone you gonna get. So um the book is I don't the companion book to comes with the training, yes. So the what I advise and encourage at is instead of getting a book, just invest in the master training because it gives you lifetime access into the community. So even if you're not showing up every day, as long as you know you have a qualified mentor that you will have access to while you're on your journey. Because let me tell you something, you don't have just you don't there aren't many people who are qualified to teach what I'm teaching and you have access to. You don't have access to the Billy Carsons without spending hundreds of dollars. You don't have access to the Myron Golds if you don't have $350,000. You don't have access to the Lisa Nicholses. You don't have access to the Joe Dispenzas. You don't have access to the Billy you don't have access to these people that who are qualified to teach you in their area of expertise. You don't unless you have hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So, like I said, it was a battle that I was having with myself, okay? Because I'm no fool. I'm not gonna act like I'm not in the flow of receiving. However, remember the one of the universal laws is the law of polarity. They cannot be one without the other. So I had to sit in silence and remember that Venus, you also serve people who most coaches, mentors, and qualified people who would not even take a look at because you don't have enough money to even say hi to them. And that's fact. The book is still available, but the book you're talking about is what and who. The book you're talking about is attracting what and who you desire. By the way, I'm also a best-selling published author, so it is also a part of what I do. I've written 4 books to date. Okay, so abstract, I think that's the book you're talking about. The book that you got was attracting what and who you desire. So that book in PDF form is still available because I'm in Thailand now. Okay, and because I'm not giving no other company my earnings that I deserve and put in energy for just so they can send you a book and give me 50 cents. So the book is still available. It's just in a PDF version. So if any of you are interested, because as soon as I get off this live, I'm taking off that link. Because like I said, I'm still in the process of making a sound decision on whether or not I'm going to keep it at $59.99 or I'm going to keep it at $197, and ever so often I'll do the little here and there gifts and razzle dazzles. I'm not sure. However, as long as I'm on this live, for those of you who are serious, I will give you the next until I'm done, until next time on this live. So now is your opportunity. Those who get it, get it. Baby, listen. I enjoy what I do. I really do love helping people. And when I get reviews and feedback on how I helped people gain higher states of consciousness, attract certain things in their life, put themselves in better positions, multiple things. That makes me feel wonderful because that's what it's all about. Your transformation. Your transformation. I don't think anybody in their right mind want to reach a certain level of wealth, a certain level of abundance, a certain level of freedom if that means that they can only do it by themselves. If it means that they can only experience it by themselves. So the more people who are elevating, the more people who are able to retire themselves and not be on a slave ship, the more people who are purposely living a life of fulfillment, a life of limitless, not limitless, right? That's what it should be. I should. Okay. Everything that you all are asking, click the link in my bio. All the information, all of the tabs you will see is easy breezy. All it takes is your willingness and commitment to choose you. All it takes is your awareness to realize that you are the one who sent me here. Remember, now you're in the law of correspondence. You say deep within that you're ready for change, that you're tired of working harder and not smarter, that you don't want to continue working 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 11 jobs, that you don't want to keep hustling backwards, that you want to elevate. You're saying that deep inside you. The universe and your ancestors and you just decided to choose me to deliver the opportunity and to present the valuable offer to you. So don't get it twisted. Okay, I need you to understand that. Focus on what's important. Don't allow your biases, your old dominant programs to trick you out of what you're asking for, what you've been asking for, what you've been longing for. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Ashe? Don't let your lower self trick you because that's what your lower self is designed to do. Keep you stuck. Why? Because that's what it's familiar with. Your nervous system is designed in such a beautiful way that it will reject anything that is new or foreign to it. So this is why I say don't allow your lower self to trick you out of what you deeply desire, because it is always the battle between you and bringing harmony. It's not about the battle is not so much to win the war. The battle is to bring your higher and lower self into balance, into harmony, because there can be no one without the other, right? So perhaps Wednesday I'll continue with the other laws, the other 5, 6, 7, 8, the other 5 laws, right? Unbothered, how are you, my love? Miss Lefty, thank you so much. Infinite gratitude. Soma, how are you, my love? Loyal P, I don't think I said infinite gratitude to you early, but infinite gratitude to you. How are you, my love? Right? So please take an opportunity to choose yourself. Please take advantage of the offer because I truly want you to elevate, but I can't want it for you more than you want it for yourself. I am here to present an offer to you. Whether you choose to accept it or reject it is up to how bad you want whatever it is you want. It's always going to be the choice. So whether it's me or whether it's somebody else, these universal laws and principles are always in the works. They don't shut off. And until you understand them and embody them, your life is not going to stay the same. It's going to get worse. I just explained in detail of how the universal principles work as a reminder, because you already know this because you've experienced it. You just didn't know what was happening. You didn't know how to articulate what was going on. You didn't know that it was the universal laws and principles and meta laws in play. Ashe? Ashe? All right now. This is two after 2 hours. That's it. I got to get up and move because my energy can't stay stagnant. It has to move. How you doing, sis? How's your rising going? How's your workday going? Energy got to move, baby. And although I love t-shirts, baby, just sitting here for more than 2 hours, it ain't my gig. I don't know how. I mean, I know how a lot of y'all doing it, but for the love of all things pure, I don't know how y'all sitting on lives for 5, 6, 7, 11 hours at a time. I ain't doing that for no fucking dollar. Oh, hell no. Hell no. I'm not doing that. Okay? Because then you start to see one of my alter egos. It's like, all right now, I don't like my energy stagnant, baby, unless I'm in stillness. But since I'm in education mode, since I'm in teaching mode, okay, even though I move a little bit, that ain't enough. I need to get my energy going, right? Because baby, this is how you have to put you first. You have to understand these things, and when you understand them, you start to embody them. You start to know the dangers in sitting on lives or in the same place being stagnant. You start to learn the dangers of that. Peace, Dwayne. How are you, my love? You start to understand the dangers of not choosing yourself. You start to understand the dangers of constantly being unwilling to change your circumstances or your situations. You start to understand the dangers of not just being about the talk, but you actually walking the walk. You start to understand the dangers of you not choosing to elevate in any area. You start to understand the dangers of having parasites, parasitical people in your life. You start to understand those dangers, and and all of a sudden you're like, you know what? Uh-uh. This is no. Y'all ever seen Emperor's New Groove? I used to watch cartoons with my children, with my youngins when they were young, and there's this scene where he was like, "Don't no. Like, don't get it twisted. We ain't doing that. No. Oh, what's that in Tarzan? One of them, But okay, so this move was Emperor's New Groove, and he was like, you threw off my groove. When he was turned into the lamb, and Tarzan, he was like, no. So and I know where both of those correlations come from, because they both are from cartoons, but two different cartoons. Anyway, that was just an awareness that I had. I love when my mind works that fast. I love being in tune with myself. I love operating in higher consciousness, because just that fast, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing, right? So, all right, here we go. Infinite gratitude for all of you for being here. First and foremost, infinite gratitude for Big Chef, my cousin, which is the one of, and I mean this sincerely. She has really elevated my platform. She came in and she just did what she felt to do, and she joined teams. She joined hands with me, and she's the one that is with me on multiple platforms, the one that is encouraging you, that is requesting good things from you, that is elevating a life. So please, can we just give a ashe to Big Chef, because that's what we do around these parts. We say ashe, we affirm, we seal it, we command it, we just put that stamp on. It's like, said so, it is so. Ashe, ashe. So can we all, those of you who are here, just give a round of applause by putting the ashe at an ashe Big Chef. I am Big Chef. That's who she is, in the comment section. Please give her a ashe for me. I love her, and I'm so grateful for all that she continues to do for me whenever I'm live. Because when I'm in a zone, I'm in my purpose. I am. It is not the easiest thing to dwell in both realms at the same time, because my core essence is Gemini. Okay, so we dwell both in the spirit realm and in this realm. And oftentimes it is a challenge for me to be in tune with the people whom I'm speaking to, because I'm speaking from the spirit and also from this realm, while I am still being a professional in this reality. So don't charge it to my heart at all. And so this is why I have such a deep gratitude that she came in and she was able to do what she do, and she is phenomenal at what she do as far as organization, as far as elevation and doing what she do. So infinite gratitude to you. Peace, Tafan. How are you, my love? So, infinite gratitude to all of you. Infinite gratitude to Miss Letty, Loyal P. Infinite gratitude to Crazy. Infinite gratitude to Dwayne, Tanya, my sis. Infinite gratitude to Unbother for stopping by. For Miss Lefty. Infinite gratitude to Abstract Mom. My love, my love. Infinite gratitude to all of you. Infinite gratitude to Sha, who is also a mentee in all things Mastery Infinity Circle. Infinite gratitude to Tamika, who stopped by earlier, which is also a mentee of all things Mastery Infinity Circle. Infinite gratitude to my sis, Tanya, in the comment section, Wealth Elevated on Purpose. She's also a mentee in there and have been with me to the point where now we're actually friends more than mentee mentor. We're actually really good friends, and I love that. So infinite gratitude to your niece for stopping by. Infinite gratitude for all of you who have came by. Tiana, infinite gratitude, my love. Infinite gratitude for all the hearts. Infinite gratitude for the gifts. Infinite gratitude for y'all grabbing y'all daily heart needs and claiming y'all goals. Infinite gratitude to my YT family. I love you, Ashe. Infinite gratitude to my FB family. I love you, Ashe. Infinite gratitude to my new family. We are growing and building as we all grow and build as one. To my Titwitch family. I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna figure out how to say that online on while I'm online, while I'm live streaming. So I won't trigger anybody's sensitivities. When I say sensitivities and triggers, I mean the platforms, right? But to which is they are more relaxed and more freeing and liberating when it comes to allowing people to express themselves. We all know who TikTok do and what their platform is about, what they do and do not like. So infinite gratitude for all of you who showed up on across multiple platforms to choose you, to tune in to you. Thank you so much for getting me. I see the 69.8K likes. Oh my goodness. That is so dope. That is so dope. Infinite gratitude. I remember, listen, plenty of times I do the same thing, baby, and I don't mind though. Because when you understand these universal principles, whenever you get an opportunity to exchange the smallest of things, it returns to you in the grandest of ways. So I'm not unfamiliar with, like, you know what I'm saying? And some of y'all nasty bodies, some of y'all nasty minds over here, don't take that the wrong way. Talking about y'all, I'm the nasty one because I'm the one that thought about it first. Now I know it's time to go. Now I know it's time to go. Okay. Now I know. Okay. So I'm familiar with tap tap tappity tap tap tappity tap tap tappity tap. So infinite gratitude for all. That was so funny. My jaws hurt from laughing about that. So infinite gratitude for you all. I love you. Like I said, if you are looking to work with me, if you feel that you've made a connection with me, if you feel that if you feel deep within that I can be a part of your self mastery journey and help you accelerate your goals through the trainings, especially through the small group mentoring that we do over in All Things Mastery Infinity Circle. Like I said, the only gateway to enter into the All Things Mastery Infinity Circle and to gain access is via the Creating Your Desired Reality Master Program. Okay, because you need to know the fundamentals. They are pre-recorded master classes that gives you the fundamentals, and so you can also go at your own pace. Now, I'm not saying it take forever to complete them, because there's been mentees that completed it in one day. There's been mentees that completed it in 5 days, and some took longer. That's not my business how long you take to complete it. I created it so one of the reasons why I created it like that is so you can go at your own pace and learn those fundamentals. So, and also have personal access to me so I can walk with you, because I guarantee you, you're going to have questions. You're going to have questions because there are moments, there are going to be moments. The moment you say, you know what, I'm all in, I'm really going to take one step at a time to manifesting and creating my desired lifestyle, whatever that means to you. I'm gonna take one step at a time. I'm gonna tell you right now, one of the master lessons in that particular master training is one of the most important understandings that you need. The pre, during, and post process. When you decide to accelerate, to grow, to choose you, to choose love, there's going to be some what the fuck moments. And you're going to need someone to draw you in, to remind you that this is what's happening. But like I said, remember in the beginning of the law of rhythm and the law of correspondence, it's not happening to you, it's happening through you. And in order for things to get in order, there needs to be a rearranging of such things. That means things in your life. And so why I say is one of the most important lessons in that mastery training is because that's the point where a lot of people give up. Because they say, what the fuck? I'm supposed to be achieving more love and feel better and blah, 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 but I feel worse. Lost my job. And you're going to need someone to recenter you, to remind you that this is what's happening. Right? Whenever, yes, rewiring. Ashe. This is what's happening. It's what you need. Blaze, what's up? What's good? Blaze Horizon, how are you, my love? Right? So I offer that opportunity to you. Okay? Now, thank you. It has and always is an honor to be chosen to be in your presence. It's always an honor and a privilege for me that you chose me to walk with you, even in these moments, right? It's an honor, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Because there ain't nobody like me. There ain't nobody like me. Hey, there ain't nobody like you. Okay, this razzle dazzle over here. Okay, this learning can be fun too. Like we don't, sometimes we laugh, sometimes we say out, sometimes it may sting. But let me tell you something, baby. Ain't nobody like me. Hey, ain't nobody like V. V stands for Venus. My family call me V or Venus. Understand that, and ain't nobody like you. Can't nobody do what you do what you do, walk like you, talk like you, dance like you, move like you, think like you, okay? Nobody can do that. This is why living and breathing and thriving in your authenticity is beautiful, right? But if there's something that can be better, make it better. Right, Kurt? How are you doing? How are you doing? Just because you are glorious and you're unique and you're beautiful does not mean that you wasn't also designed to accelerate. Just be in this idiotic thing. I'm perfectly imperfect. Do you understand the level of stupidity? Oh, that was disrespectful. And I know I just disrespected somebody. However, I meant that with the utmost love and respect. Do you know how foolish it is to utter those words? I'm perfectly imperfect. And the only reason you're mimicking it is because that was what someone taught you and told you. That completely contradicts. Because if you knew your biological design, if you knew your chemical design, if you knew your spiritual design, if you knew your chromosome design, if you knew your DNA design, if you know your whole architectural design, baby, you would never utter those words again. You will never utter those words again. You will pay more attention to what you're speaking over your life. You would pay more attention. You would start to auto-correct yourself. You would start to say, you know what? Let me switch that up. Let me remix that a little bit. Okay? Let me remix that a little bit. Because the only thing you're doing is casting spells on yourself. The only thing you're doing is self-destructing. And and a lot of us don't even understand it or realize it. Right? So no, it's not just, oh, we just talking and we just kicking it. Oh no, I'm not just kicking it. Okay. Because I know just kicking it can be very dangerous. I don't know, just fucking around and shooting the shits, as some people say, can be dangerous. I know that saying stupid things can be dangerous for me. Right? And others that I love. Infinite gratitude, Kurt, infinite gratitude. Ashe. They can be very dangerous. How you gonna talk about how I'm a god, I'm a goddess, I'm intellectual, I understand metaphysical laws and metaphysical principles, yet you call it shit that you teach. Oh, this shit good right here. Oh, this shit good right here. I don't know about you, but I have smelled how shit tastes. Okay? And I know some people in this world have actually tasted it, right? Especially those who are in the realm of the limelight, and the Hollywood, I know a lot of them folks over there, they have tasted it. I don't know about you, but I don't think shit is good. Not in the context of what we were programmed to believe that it is. Because see, when you start to mature, don't the great book that so many of you love say, when I was a child, I did childish things. When I was a child, I did childish things. But when I got wiser, when I gained more understanding, when I chose to elevate and accelerate, I started doing things different. It's not that I'm not youthful or not playful. There's a difference. So when I say childlike, I mean immature. Everything is not a game. Ashe, everything cannot be fun and games all the time. When you are in the process, know that I didn't say trying to. When you are in the process of elevating self-master, in the process of mastering self, in the process of mastering your reality, in the process of mastering, ascending, whatever it is. And you know that's serious, like your life should be serious. The quality of your life should be serious. Then you start talking more seriously. You start acting more seriously. You start walking more seriously. You start living more purposely. You stop speaking foolishly because you now know, hey, there's dangers in just shooting the shit like I used to shoot the shit. There's dangers in things that I say or things that I absorb. Ashe? Whoever that was for, Ashe. All right, so I'm really, really out now. So infinite gratitude. Okay. I love you all. I will keep the link open right now for at least because as soon as I finish this live, baby, when I tell you the way I'm going to sit in stillness. So while I'm sitting in stillness, you have an opportunity to invest in yourself, an opportunity to gain access to one of the greatest master trainings on the planet right now for $69.99. A very small investment, but something that can change the trajectory of your life and your family's life. So it is there for you. Click the link in my bio. It is titled CYDR Master Program, Creating Your Desired Reality Master Program. So you can get it for $69.99 instead of $199. And the reason why I'm leaving it up is because I need to digress and I need to refill. And the first thing that's not on my list is going on the back end of my system and changing a price. So wink, wink, and hint, hint. Peace. Wait, let me end.